All right, we are live. Going to be doing some tarot readings. All right, so how do we sound? How do we sound? How do we sound? All right, so how do we sound? Wow, that was loud. Okay. Gonna charge this. Yes, I'm just going to be live for a little bit to see if anyone wants a reading. And if not, then I'm going to go back offline. But if people want readings, then I'll stay on. So it's really up to people out there. And so we shall wait. Alright, well, perhaps one thing I can do while I wait is straighten out these cards lines some more. Or re-straighten my cards, I guess. Actually, this would be an easier way to do this. So yeah, today's been an interesting day. I should just talk while I'm waiting for people to show up. Since there are interesting things to talk about, I think maybe some interesting things. Did that stream with the temperance card earlier. That was a lot of fun. Learned a lot more about that. At least I hope people learned a lot. I know I learned more about it. Monday should be interesting. That's the new moon. February has a lot of like optimistic energy going on in it also, like if you look at the astrology. So probably a bit of a respite from the harsher energy that we've been having at times. Then the danger there is that people will become overly optimistic, I guess. There can be a danger in too much light. So yeah, I'm straightening my cards back out right now. And they'll probably be bent again before I know it, but that's okay. And if no one wants a reading once I've been live for like 30 minutes, I'm just gonna go offline. Well, hey there, how do readings work? Well, you mean like a reading with me? You just give me a donation through PayPal or Super Chat and I give you a reading. Like you would ask a question and or just ask for a reading on any subject and I'll do a reading and it'll give you insight into that subject or question. Okay, good. Hope I explained that well. Yeah, and for those who don't know, I do prefer donations through PayPal since I get them faster and I get to usually keep all the money. But if that doesn't work for anyone, I of course also will accept them through Super Chat. Then something I probably don't announce, often enough, is if someone really wants a birth chart reading, I'll even do those too, in addition to a tarot reading if they're willing to pay $20. But tarot readings I'll do for any amount of money. Super Chat, okay to send you a donation? Yes, go right ahead, and I'll give you a tarot reading. Just about got all my cards straightened out again, so I'm good to go here. What's the birth reading? That's when like someone can give me their date of birth, and if possible also if they want to, the location and time if they know it, like if they know the exact time that they were born. And I'll analyze their astrological data and give them insight into their personality and life based upon it, essentially. And also, if they really wanted, I could even sort of maybe predict some things based on that, though if you want predictions, that's going to be much more the tarot reading that I do. But yeah, birth chart readings, like I can do them, but they do take more time, and so that's why for those I have to ask for $20. But tarot readings I'll do for any amount. And all right, the deck is nice and straightened again. All right. Can we start with a tarot reading? Yes, we can. I can send you the $20. We do it in the order you like best. Okay, I mean, yeah, it's up to you. Like, if you send me $20, I can give you both a tarot reading and a birth chart reading, and I can give you either one first, really. It doesn't really matter. Just remember that for a birth chart reading, I obviously need to know your date of birth, and if you can provide it, the exact time and location that you were born as well. That way I can get even more data, basically. All right. All right, I am ready when you are. As soon as I see your donation, we can begin your reading. Yeah, February is looking to be a fairly optimistic month astrologically, from what I've seen thus far. Sorry, it's taking forever. That's okay. Take your time. I can stay here for a while. It's all right. All right. Thank you for your donation. And which would you like to be in with, your tarot reading or your birth chart reading? Finally worked. Awesome. Yeah, the tarot reading, I typically give people a Celtic cross unless they ask for a different kind of spread. But it seems like generally everyone prefers a Celtic cross. So that's what I go with by default. I'm also probably most good at reading those. Don't know anything about spreads. Yeah, I'll just give you a Celtic cross one then. And do you want to start with a tarot reading or do you want to start with a birth chart reading? Tarot? All right. And what is your question for your tarot reading or subject? Or if you would like, I could even just give you a general reading. General reading. All right, let's do that. So, let's see. So I'm gonna assume your name's pronounced Jesus. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Or it could be in my love life. Okay, we can do a reading for your love life then. All right, so we would like a love life reading for Jesus in the chat right here, right now, in the form of a Celtic cross. Also, hey there, Yasmina. As soon as, or Jasmina, I'm not, if I mispronounce your name, let me know. As soon as I'm done reading Jesus here, I can give you a reading. So we would like a Celtic cross reading for Jesus in the chat right here, right now, on the subject of love life. A Celtic cross. Let's see what we get. What is the energy currently and in the near and distant future for Jesus' love life? What insight does the universe have to give us? On this matter. All right, here we go. Still do the birth one too? Yes, absolutely. As soon as we're done with your tarot reading, since you did pay $20, you will also get a birth chart reading. All right, so you got Queen of Swords reversed, the Devil, the King of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, the Magician, Six of Swords, Six of Cups, the Emperor reversed, the Queen of Wands reversed, and the Seven of Swords reversed. All right, let's take a look here. So on the subject of love life, let me go ahead and calculate this real quick. Okay, it looks like basically, first of all, there might be an air sign involved in your life because we got both the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords showing up. Someone of the sign of Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, but not necessarily. Those cards might also be manifesting in other ways. But what's really going on here is, so you got the Devil card for your challenge card. You got the Six of Swords for the near future. It looks like when it comes to love, there's some kind of situation that you're really like trying to move on from or need to move on from that's just plain not healthy for you. Now, the way you're feeling about it, however, though, is like, well, that Six of Cups is like, it's like still wanting to sort of cling to the past about something, you know, not being ready to fully let something go. Six of Cups often talks about something from the past coming back up, and that's how you're feeling. So yeah, the idea is that you like want to let go of whatever this unhealthy situation is. Let's see. I'm so right. Oh, well, happy to hear that. King of Swords underlying energy, Magician card for what you hope to achieve. So another aspect of it is it's like what you're reaching for in this, like your highest hope, you could say, is the ability to take what has happened and recreate it as you see fit. But when I say that, though, I don't mean exactly the same situation. I mean like a new situation, but like recreate your reality as you see fit. That's what the Magician card is really all about. And also the idea of new beginnings So your highest hope at this point is the creation of a new beginning, essentially. And quite possibly, let's see, Emperor reversed, outside force coming in, then the Magician for what you hope to achieve. Hell, even the Devil card for your challenge card could indicate this. You might really want to assert yourself more when it comes to love, like in the future, and like near and distant future, I guess. Like assert yourself, put yourself out there, and that it looks like that will be to your benefit with someone else. Yes, exactly. And then your final outcome card is Seven of Swords reversed, which the way I always read that is a sense of almost surrender or a letting down of or like a letting go of tension, like a relief from things. So eventually, it looks like your love life. I mean, if we're going to say Seven of Swords reversed, and that's like a sort of surrender. Well, it looks like the stress and tension that you're feeling now is finally going to more or less dissolve, and you're going to find more peace. Now, that's not going to come right away, but since it's the outcome card, eventually, whether it be, I don't know, 6 weeks or several months from now, or a little bit longer, eventually things should become much more calm and peaceful for you. Whether that means you end up with someone else by then, or you're by yourself and you're just like able to be okay by yourself. So that's about it for the tarot reading. Do you have any questions on this before we continue? Just gonna glance at my phone briefly. Hey there, Rosie. Thanks for the donation. We will read you. Well, I think Jasmina is actually next in line after we finish with Jesus here, because Jasmina, I think you tried to send me a donation earlier, but it didn't like accept, or I had to accept it, I think, but I wasn't live anymore. So so I guess you would be next in order, unless you don't want to be next. So you said, okay, yeah. Like, I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to accept it unless or until I get to give you the reading. So once we're done with Jesus, I will accept your donation, Jasmina, and then give you your reading, and then it'll be Rosie's turn. Sorry if that was confusing. I hope that made sense. All right. Okay, no questions on this reading, Jesus. All right, so for your birth chart reading, Jesus, I do need your birthday, of course, and if you want to provide it and you know it, the exact time and location that you were born, that will also help. But like, if you don't feel comfortable providing that, you can just give me your date of birth itself, and we can still get a lot of information that way. If it goes through all okay. I definitely will. So earlier I asked about my crush, Christopher. I just want to know if he thinks of me sexually, like think I'm physically attractive. All right. Well, we will get to your question here very soon. Let me get my astrology stuff ready. All right, so Jesus, I just need your date of birth. And if you want to provide it and know it, the exact time and location that you were born. Okay, here we go. August 10th, 1991. All right, let's put that in first. Around 6 in the morning, okay. Oakland, California. Okay. All right. Pacific Daylight Time. I'm just double checking things here. Okay, here we go. Let me just resize the window real quick. All right, Jesus, let me take a look here. I have your chart in front of me. So I see, of course, you're a Leo sun and also a Leo moon and a Leo rising. Wow. Okay. So first of all, this is quite unusual. You've got the sun, the moon, and your ascendant all in Leo. So you have an abundance of that Leo energy. You also have Jupiter in Leo, and you have your moon and Jupiter nearly perfectly conjunct in Leo, like about a degree apart. So basically speaking, that means that you are a Leo to the extreme. You're very bold, very expressive, very passionate, probably very spontaneous, inspired. You act quickly. You're very loyal to people. You care about loyalty. You could even be interested in the idea of teaching or things like that. Of course, Leo being ruled by the sun, that means that, how do I even put this? Well, the sun just shines and it just radiates its love and its energy, regardless of what other people think. And so you very much encompass that idea. You like being the star, would be an accurate way of putting that. Now, let's see here. Also, your sun, your Jupiter, and your moon are also all in your first house of self. So that just adds to it. The first house is going to correspond to the sign of Aries, and so you're very comfortable being yourself, to say the least. Your focus is often very much on yourself, not in like an egotistical way or anything. I'm not calling you, self-centered or anything, but you're very aware of yourself, of your needs, and your ability to express yourself, especially with the Leo energy. Now, you have a Mercury-Venus conjunction also in Virgo. So that means basically Mercury in Virgo, you're going to think like a Virgo, which is very practical, methodical, analytical, precise, detail-oriented. Venus in Virgo, you're going to like Virgo in things, basically. A Mercury-Venus conjunction, let's see, I mean, that could go a couple different ways. That would most likely manifest as like a love of thinking, a love of analyzing things, or sort of diving into things in a more intellectual sense. And again, like a love of practicality and stuff like that. Even though all your Leo energy is also going to make you very much like inspired and acting on inspiration, stuff like that. Let's see what else we have. Oh, wait, before we move on, that conjunction is in your second house of finance, and so you should be luckier than most when it comes to money, theoretically, especially with Venus there in your second house. You also have Mars in Virgo. That is usually, from what I've seen before anyway, that manifests as people who are like willing to work hard at things and willing to put in the day after day work that it takes to accomplish something, or just almost even like, how do I even put this? willing to like keep working on the seemingly mundane tasks of life. Like Mars in Virgo is a willingness to stick with that essentially. Let's see what else you have. Let's just see here. Well, your midheaven is in Taurus, and so that's going to add even more to what I was just saying about Mars and Virgo. Like midheaven is in Taurus is similar in that that is also going to have you, when it comes to career and work, be very practical, very steady, very much willing to stick to the plan, basically, and any career that you naturally seek would be one that is very practical and down to earth in the way that the sign of Taurus is. So very, very earthy, very logical career options are what you naturally seek. Let's see what else. North node in Capricorn and in your 6th house, that's most likely indicative of a life purpose that involves involves a lot of achievement and accomplishment, Capricorn, and also a lot of ongoing work, 6th house, and well, also Capricorn is hard work, hard ongoing work. So basically, you're a very hard worker. That's abundantly clear from this. And you also have that Mars, that 2nd house, Virgo Mars trining your Capricorn North node. So even more likely to be a hard worker. Let's see what else. Your Chiron is opposite your Saturn. Now, this might be a bit hard to explain, but Chiron is basically the aspect of us that tries to heal the wounds in others that we have ourselves. So that aspect of you that tries to help others and help heal others' wounds that are the same wounds that you may feel that you have yourself is in conflict with your Saturn. It's in an opposition. Your Chiron is in opposition to your Saturn, which Saturn is the authority, the power structure, rules, discipline, law, that sort of thing. And so there's a struggle there, and to be honest, I'm not quite sure how it's likely to manifest, but there's definitely a struggle between the part of you that wants to help heal other people's wounds and you're dealing with authority or power structures or limitation or stuff like that. So that's a challenge to be overcome, basically, is to find a way to get those to work together in your life. Let's see what else. Okay, this is interesting. This is probably one of the biggest aspects of your chart. Your Leo sun is in a near perfect square to your Scorpio Pluto. So that's basically like your ego or sense of self or your conscious awareness in quite the conflict, quite the heavy tension with Pluto, your unconscious, your shadow side, your dark side. And so like a big challenge for you in this life would be finding a way to integrate the light of your awareness or your conscious mind with the shadow side of your personality. And I know people will say, well, you could say that about anyone, and yes, you could, but for you in particular, that's a big thing because not everyone has the sun nearly perfectly square to Pluto like you do. So it would be very much to your advantage to do things like shadow work and get involved with that sort of thing, get in touch with the unconscious side of yourself. Let's see, what else might that do? That's probably, well, it's also going to activate your Pluto, which means it's going to activate the part of you that is all or nothing. So you're probably quite the all or nothing type of person. Power dynamics play a big role in your life. Power of all kinds. And even the idea of like biological drives and stuff like that, I would say. So let me think here if there's anything else. I was going to say something in my mind just momentarily went blank. Hang on. How do you get in touch with your shadow side? There's a number of ways. One of the best ways to do it is to just start paying attention to the way you feel and start like analyzing the way you feel, analyzing your emotions, and finding out like why, like asking yourself why you feel certain things. And also, anytime something comes up that upsets you, ask yourself, okay, why did that really upset me? Like what is that pointing to within myself? And like if you want more information on this, like if you want more details on this, there's videos on YouTube you can look up. Just look up shadow work on YouTube. In fact, I'd recommend Teal Swan's videos on it. So I'll even type it into the chat to make it easier. Search Teal Swan shadow work sometime, and that will give you some good information on that. And let's see, Jasmine said, I want to know what the universe has in place for me in terms of career and relationship as I'm single, who I will end up with also right now. A dilemma as I recently left work to follow my dreams. All right, we'll be looking at that soon. Hello there, Alexandria. You're interested in a tarot reading? Dude, I really feel like this helped. Thanks. Well, you are very welcome, Jesus. Real quick, I will say you also, I'm noticing now, have a Mars-Pluto sextile, which Pluto is a higher octave of Mars. They're both going to talk about intense physical energy. Well, Mars is a little more physical energy, also sexual energy, but Pluto also talks about sexuality. So you're going to have a strong drive in those areas as well. A strong biological drive, probably a strong sex drive, a strong drive to assert yourself, most likely. And let's see. So make sure that, well, I don't know, there are a couple other things I can mention, but I think we've mentioned probably the most important stuff at this point. The most important things that jump out to me anyway. Do you have any questions on this? I mean, I want to get to other people who want readings, but I want to give, I want to make sure that you're satisfied with your reading. Hey there, Alexandria. Yes, you may ask a question. Thanks for the donation. Okay, so it's going to be Jasmina. Well, first we're going to finish with Jesus. Then it's going to be Jasmina, then Rosie, then Alexandria. That's the order we're in currently. Yeah, also, Jesus, you've got a grand Earth trine. It looks like your Mercury Venus conjunction going to, or actually, wait, no, scratch that. Your Moon Jupiter conjunction going to your Uranus in Capricorn going to your midheaven in Taurus. So you're like a lot of fire and a lot of earth. So a lot of passion and spontaneity, and also a lot of practicality and grounded logical thinking and logical ways of being. So, all right. Okay, so I'm just going to multitask a bit here. Jasmina is next, so I'm going to go to access that donation now, which I think, let me just do that on my computer. Question is, will Chris Sarver approach me? If not, what outcome do you see for our relationship? Don't know if I should hold on or let go. All right, we will definitely look into that very soon. First Jasmina, then Rosie, and then Alexandria. Okay. Okay, one moment, please. Getting to Jasmina's donation now. Okay, I think it went through. Let me just make sure here. Yes, it did. Okay. All right, Jasmina, you are up next. And in the meantime, Jesus, if you have any more questions on your birth chart reading, well, we can just kind of multitask, and you can tell me what they are, and I'll check it out real quick. All right, so let's get these cards ready here. All right, so we would like a Celtic cross forecast for Jasmina in the chat right here, right now, on the question of, I want to know what the universe has in place for me in terms of career and relationship as I'm single, who I will end up with. Also right now in a dilemma as I recently left work to follow my dreams. All right, what insight can we gain from the universe in a Celtic cross reading for Jasmina on that question right here, right now? Let's find out. What insights is there to be gained on Jasmina's situation? Well, we are just rocking and rolling here, as I've become fond of saying lately. All right, there we are. I swear, it's always after I say something like that that the cards then lock. It's always right after. Okay, let's see. You got Ace of Swords, Nine of Cups, Ten of Pentacles reversed, Page of Pentacles reversed, Page of Wands, the Star reversed, the Five of Pentacles, the Eight of Swords, the Eight of Cups, and the Three of Wands reversed. Okay, so let's take a look here. So career and relationship, who you'll end up with. A dilemma, recently left work to follow your dreams. Okay. You can see that here. Let's see. Where should I start? Let me calculate this here. Well, first of all, I can see indeed what you hope to achieve. Page of Wands is representative of that desire to follow your inspiration or follow your dreams, not be stuck in the old. Like the Page of Wands is all about what's new and whatnot. Ace of Swords for your current outside influences also talks about a new beginning and stuff like that. But let's see here. The Star reverse in the near future is pointing to struggling with the idea of freedom. And so the near future, it's like, and in the context of your question, so you're wanting to follow your dreams. The struggle for freedom is going to be like a key theme in your near future, most likely, because the Star reverse is all about that. The Five of Pentacles for your attitude or position in the situation does show that you're concerned about money. You might even feel like you don't have any money, basically. But fortunately, that is just how you feel, not necessarily reflective of what's actually physically manifesting. But let me try to really get to the heart of your question here. Like what is actually going to happen in terms of career and relationship. I'm going to need a moment to figure this out. Well, other than what I've already talked about with the Star reversed, it's like there may be a lot coming at you right now that is going to challenge you a lot, because we've got the Eight of Swords for the outside force coming in. So that would most likely be representative of a situation where you're going to be, I mean, the way I would interpret it anyway is that you would be put to the test in terms of needing to transform. It's going to perhaps even force you into a transformation. That would be my strongest interpretation of this here. You also drew another eight, the Eight of Cups for your hopes or fears. Eights are going to talk about transformation. They're going to talk about death and rebirth. You know, they correspond to the energy of Scorpio, death and then new life. And that's, of course, what you're talking about with your career. Let's see. Savings and money, however, I feel like I can't spend it because I'm worried. Yeah, I can definitely see that with that Five of Pentacles card. As for the area of love, the cards are being strangely quiet about that, it seems. I mean, you do have, of course, that Page of Wands card, which is a court card, which could theoretically manifest as a fire sign, possibly in the area of love. I'm not saying this for sure, that I know this for sure, but possibly a fire sign that would be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius that you might find yourself reaching for. But I'm actually going to draw an 11th card for you just to see what else we get, more clues to the meaning. And we got the Magician, talking about the powerful new beginning, using one's skills and abilities. Because, so your outcome card is the Three of Wands reversed, which unfortunately, when that card's reversed, it can indicate stagnation and blockage and things not moving along the way that you want them to. But then we draw the Magician for additional information, and we have this idea of the recommendation to use your skills and abilities to recreate your reality as you see fit. So hang on, I'm still putting some things together here as well. Because when we combine that with the Ace of Swords and the Star reversed and the Magician card, then we're looking at all that air energy, powerful new beginnings in the realm of the intellect. So I hope this isn't confusing. Basically, Jasmina, it's like, I think the cards are saying overall, when we go from that Ace of Swords to the Star reverse to the Magician card, that even though it's likely to be very challenging for you, you do still have the skills and abilities, as the Magician lets us know, to recreate things as you see fit, and to also find satisfaction, contentment, and fulfillment, as your Nine of Cups challenge card tells us. Like, that card is the energy that you want to reintegrate, essentially. So finding satisfaction and fulfillment, it's almost like the cards are saying that should be your primary goal. Like, maybe even in some sense, it's almost like they're saying, take career and relationships out of it, at least some of the time or to some extent, and make it more about finding satisfaction and fulfillment. Also, thanks for the donation, Found in Wonderland. I will give you a reading here very soon. Oh boy, we have a backlog of readings now. So after Jasmina, it's Rosie, then it's Alexandria, and then Found in Wonderland. All right, so other than that, Jasmina, you do have the Ten of Pentacles reversed for your underlying energy, everything forming a foundation for your current situation. So I do have to say, like, even though the cards are saying that you do most likely have the ability to recreate this situation as you see fit, well, when I see a card like that, I feel compelled to say, like, just be very careful, because when that card is reversed, it can point to a lot of financial difficulty. So, like, it's always a good idea to follow your dreams and follow your excitement. That's what I tell people all the time. Just going based purely on what I'm seeing here, there is also this aspect to it. Like, do be careful. Do be careful financially. All right, so do you have any questions about this reading? Also, Rosie, you are still here, right? Thank you, you're welcome. And Rosie's still here. Okay. So next up, we will read Rosie's cards. Okay, so let me scroll back up here. Wanted to know if he thinks of me sexually, like, think I'm physically attractive. All right. So we would like a Celtic Cross reading for Rosie in the chat on the question of, does she think, or does this person think that she is physically, sexually attractive? Does he think of her in that way? Does he think of her physically? Does he think of her sexually? Does he think that she is, let me grab her exact words again. Does he think of her sexually and that she is physically attractive? All right, Celtic Cross. Let's see what we get. How does Christopher think of Rosie? Right, there we go. Queen of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles, Ace of Cups reversed, the Hanged Man reversed, the Page of Swords, the Five of Pentacles, Seven of Swords reversed, King of Cups reversed, Six of Wands, and the Five of Wands. Okay, let's see here. Let's see, does he think of you physically, like physically attractive, sexually attractive? Let's see. Already I'm noticing more of that stuff about like he's sort of afraid to cross a certain barrier or whatever with that Ace of Cups reversed, or afraid to cross a certain boundary. But let's see more to the heart of your question. Well, I mean, I'm tempted to say that he probably at least thinks, I mean, I don't know if he thinks of you like sexually per se, but there's that Queen of Pentacles energy, which is that earthy energy, and Earth is going to talk about physicality, and that's going to be one of the most important cards in the whole spread as the first card, which can also be considered the heart of the situation. So there's that aspect. The last two cards are both wands, fire. Hang on one second though, let's see. Six of Wands and then Five of Wands. Like fire suggests, of course, passion and whatnot. But I'm particularly thinking, since the Five of Wands is the outcome card, that might be indicative of a sense of physical passion, or a passion for you in that way as well. Damn, the cards are being somewhat nebulous about it, but other than that Queen of Pentacles energy. Let's see if any other cards can give some clues. Oh, yeah, wait a minute. there's a pretty obvious clue here. Five of Pentacles and Five of Wands, two fives. The fifth house is the house of love and romance and sex. And so that would be quite the clue right there, that, yeah, there could be a physical sexual attraction. I'm surprised I didn't notice that sooner. And hell, even you're getting two sevens, Seven of Pentacles and Seven of Swords, would also, well, that would be indicative of like partnerships, seventh house of partnerships. So, but yeah, those two fives, there may very well be, like, the cards aren't like coming out right and saying it, and I think that's because, as we see, like with the Ace of Cups reversed for the underlying energy, like this person that you're talking about, as we went over earlier, is apparently like afraid to like cross a certain line with you or whatever. But there does seem to be, with that fifth house lit up, fifth house of sex, and also love and romance, there seems to be a pretty fair likelihood for a physical attraction, or that he might at least sometimes think of you in that way. That would be, that would be my best theory on it at this point. So, do you have any questions on this reading? And also, speaking of the boundaries thing, Seven of Pentacles challenge card, Seven of Pentacles having to do with work like crazy, and that's the challenge, as if to say he feels like work is in the way, perhaps. No, thank you. I wish she wasn't afraid. LOL. Well, I wish you luck. I wish you luck. So, thanks for getting a reading. Thanks for going so in depth. Alexandria says, well, that's what I do. That's what I like to do. I try to go as in depth as I can, but also be as relevant as I can. Which, Alexandria, I believe you are next, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was Rosie, then Alexandria, and then Found in Wonderland. All right. So let's get the cards ready here. So let me see here. I feel like sometimes I need to glance at my phone just to see, just in case someone leaves a PayPal donation and I don't know, and then it's like I want to give people readings in the order of in the order that they left donations, I guess. All right, so Alexandria, your question is, will Chris Sarver approach me? If not, what outcome do you see for our relationship? Don't know if I should hold on or let go. Okay, so we would like a Celtic cross reading for Alexandria in the chat right here, right now, on the question of, will Chris Sarver approach me? If not, what outcome do I see for their relationship? Don't know if I should hold on or let go. All right, on the situation with Chris Sarver in Alexandria, Celtic cross. Let's see what we get. Wow, they are really locked. Okay. Almost hurt my hand. They were locked so much. Wow, okay. Justice reversed. The Two of Wands. Knight of Swords reversed. The Star reversed. Page of Wands. Page of Cups reversed. The Sun reversed. The Nine of Swords. The Eight of Pentacles reversed. And the final outcome card of the Two of Pentacles reversed. Okay, so let's see. The idea is, will Chris Sarver approach you? If not, what outcome do I see? Don't know if you should hold on or let go. Okay, let's see here. Let me calculate this stuff. Going to also draw an 11th card just to get some more information. You got the Chariot. When he approached you, well, I could definitely see the situation is challenging with that Two of Wands challenge card. Justice reversed. There's a risk of not seeing things clearly or objectively. Well, I hate to say it, but basically the outlook isn't too good. And like I hate delivering bad news, but I have to read the cards as I'm getting them. And the near future, you got the Page of Cups reversed in terms of love. That's going to indicate not getting what you want. You got the Nine of Swords for the outside force coming in, indicating trouble, shock, worry, things concerning you about the situation. For the outcome card, you got the Two of Pentacles reversed. So if we're talking relationships, we're talking disharmony, discord between two individuals. For your attitude or position in the situation, the Sun reversed. That's basically like feeling sadness and whatnot. Also, just kind of also as an aside here, having Justice reversed, the Knight of Swords reversed, and the Star reversed are going to indicate likely not being able to see things clearly, not being able to see the situation clearly. And so that is contributing to the challenge, basically speaking. I know it's all negative. I'm so sorry. But maybe the Chariot card here, the 11th card I drew for you, could be a bit of a saving grace in that. If we're talking relationships and whatnot, it could almost say that eventually, when you sort of get past all of this, emotional harmony will be restored, because the Chariot, seems like a lot of people don't know this, but it's ruled by the sign. Since it's ruled by the sign of Cancer, it's going to also talk about things like needs, wants, desires, the personal world, the emotional world. And so it's like saying that eventually, when you can get past all of this, emotional harmony can and will be restored. It might also be advising you to develop a healthy ego in the situation. So, don't be afraid to, what's the best way of putting it? Develop almost an unemotional attitude if you can, or like a doing what has to be done kind of attitude about it. Because again, as much as I hate to say it, the outlook is not good. And so it might be best to your advantage right now to develop a very sort of stern, willing to deal with it as needed look at the situation. Been too in your feelings. Yeah, that's a common challenge, I do think. May I have a general reading whenever is next, please, and thank you. Yes, Lumen. And by the way, thanks. Yeah, thanks for your donation. I got that the other day. So, let's see. It's Alexandria, then Found in Wonderland, and then Lumen. All right. So again, sorry to be the bearer of bad news, Alexandria. But do you have any other questions about this reading before we move on? You sent one for 1111 earlier today. And let me see if I see that. I can multitask here a bit. Okay, you do have a question about this reading, Alexandria? Is he seeing anyone else? Let me see if I can see that here. Can you give me his zodiac sign, his astrological sign? That'll help me determine that, or at least that might help me determine that. Pretty sure it's Aquarius, okay. Also, Lumen, I don't see 1111 here. I see the 111 that you left the other day, but I don't see 1111. But I mean, I'll still give you a reading, obviously, because you did leave a donation. All right, pretty sure it's Aquarius. Let's see here. I'm going to pop up with the star and the Justice card in a way. Is he seeing anyone else? And then, of course, well, the Knight of Swords reverse would be a adult male air sign. Well, so, well, it's like this. The cards are not saying for sure, whether or not he's seeing someone else either way, but they are suggesting, again, that there's something about the situation that you may not be seeing clearly. And so if he was seeing someone else, that would certainly fall under that category, but it might not be that. It might be just not seeing the situation clearly in general, or just something else. Of course, Knight of Swords reversed for the underlying energy could represent him and indicate conflict with him, but it doesn't necessarily indicate deception, though, or stuff going on that you don't know about. But it's certainly possible. It's not definite, but it's almost suggested by the cards. But it's definitely not like confirmed or anything. So I hope I made that clear. It's my husband cheating. He's a Scorpio. If you can give me a donation through PayPal or Super Chat, Ashley, I'll be happy to give you a reading on that. Thank you. All right. So thanks for getting a reading from me, Alexandria. I really do appreciate it. Jasmine, you sent another donation. All right. I can give you another reading after Lumen. Let me go ahead and reload things here. Okay, donation is confirmed. All right, so next was Found in Wonderland. What does Dom want from me? All right, Found in Wonderland, you are still here, right? Get the cards ready. Yes, I am. What you need to know is full first name. I don't need to. I mean, it might help, but it's not really necessary. It's whatever you want to provide. However, his date of birth would be potentially very helpful. All right. So, by the way, thanks for getting readings from me tonight, you guys. Okay, so I'll just wait and see if you want to provide any of that information. Do the reading. His birthday is 8/24/98. Okay. I'm actually going to pull that up over here, another window, in case it is helpful. August 24th, 1998. Okay. All right, the question is, what does Dom want from me? All right. Yeah, I can see he is a Virgo there. All right. So we would like a Celtic cross reading for Found in Wonderland in the chat right here, right now, on the question of what does Dom want from me? Celtic cross. Let's see what we get. Almost, but not quite. What does Dom want from Found in Wonderland? There it is. You just resent it, Lumen? All right, awesome. I'll be checking that out in just a moment. So, Found in Wonderland, your cards are the Hierophant, the Moon, the Five of Pentacles, the Seven of Wands, the World, the Fool, the Chariot reversed, the Hanged Man reversed, the Queen of Wands reversed, and the King of Swords. All right, so let me go ahead and take a look at this here. Also, if you can, I mean, you don't have to, but if you want to give like a bit of context to the situation, that can often help me pinpoint things in the reading. Otherwise, I'll just read the cards as I see them. So let's see, this guy is a Virgo, I see here. And his moon sign, depending on when he was born, is either Virgo or Libra. So earth or air, but earth no matter what. So let's see here. Oh wait, let's see. So we have been friends for a long time, and we've been texting a lot lately. All right, if you guys can give me one moment, I'm going to turn down my heater real quick. It's getting really warm, and that's distracting me. Well, oh wait, I don't know if he is interested in me, like as in a relationship. Okay, that helps clarify things a bit. Well, possibly with that Hierophant card, but I'm definitely seeing a connection here between the World and the Fool card, which is implying some kind of, well, the Fool especially, the idea of a new journey, a new adventure. The World sort of implies it when it talks about the completion of a journey. So it does seem like he might want to start something new with you, but I don't know if it's a romantic relationship per se. Seems closed off emotionally though. Okay, let me factor that in. That might be why we have the Hanged Man reversed for the outside force coming in for you, because that would be like an unwillingness to go on a journey. Like normally when we see the Hanged Man reversed and we look at it that way, we say, oh, it's an unwillingness to go on a sort of dark journey into oneself. But in the context of this question and following the Fool card, yeah, it's almost like he wants to start something new with you, whether it's romantically or otherwise, but he's like afraid to go on that journey. Also, the Chariot reverse would even imply that as well, although that might have some other meanings too. I'm going to draw an 11th card for you as well, and it's Justice reversed. Give us some more insight on the situation. Which can mean a lack of seeing things clearly, not seeing things objectively. Well, also, the challenge card being the Moon card is going to indicate the idea of some kind of hidden agenda, quite possibly. Now, I don't mean to make it sound so dramatic, though, when I say that by hidden agenda. It's not exactly likely to be anything bad or ominous or whatever. But the Moon does talk about that which is hidden. And wait. It's also weird because he would talk about other girls to his friends. Oh, also that Seven of Wands is going to talk about someone who's closed off emotionally or closed off in general, or it can talk about that. So I see that too. Let me just see what else I can figure out here, though. Yeah, the cards are being strangely nebulous about this one. Like, we've been able to figure out some stuff about the situation, but they are being strangely nebulous about it. Of course, this is another reading where we have 2 5s, the Hierophant and the 5 of Pentacles, 5th house of love and romance, and so that would add to the theory of the possibility that he is interested in you romantically, that 5th house being lit up in that way. Weirdly enough, also 2 7s again, just like in that other reading we did earlier. 7 of Wands and the Chariot this time. 7th house of partnerships, which, again, we have the idea of romance. So it's so weird because the cards are not like coming right out and saying it, but it's like they're subtly hinting at the idea of romance. And so maybe why that is that his energy is like closed off to it, but he might still want that from you. You know, a lot of times people, because we are like split within, we have all these different aspects of ourselves. One aspect will want one thing and another aspect will want a different thing. And a person won't even realize that they need to reconcile those. So that could be the situation where like there's an aspect of him that is interested in you romantically, and there's another aspect of him that is like way too afraid to get close to someone. That would be my strongest theory based on the cards that we have here. Let's see. I Fall Easily says, hello, how does my boyfriend still has feelings towards me? He's ignoring my calls and texts. I'm feeling stressed. Thank you. Oh no. Well, if you can give me a donation of any amount through PayPal or Super Chat, then I'll be happy to give you a reading on that situation. So, Found in Wonderland, I hope I answered your question. Sorry I couldn't give a more direct answer to it. But do you have any other questions about this reading? Also, I'm looking at his chart real quick, see if I can figure anything else out. His Mercury and Venus aren't too far apart, implying that he might think about love a lot. That's not always going to mean that, but it can mean that. His Mars is also opposite his Neptune, implying that when it comes to asserting himself, it might be hard for him to find direction, essentially. Mars-Neptune is confusion about taking action. So, yeah, it all seems to add up to basically the idea of, like I said, there's a part of him that is interested in you romantically, and there's a part of him that is just way too afraid to get close to someone. Should you date him? Well, your outcome card was the King of Swords, as if to imply that this situation will eventually become clear and might be okay. But the thing is, like, I don't know, just generally speaking, if you get into a relationship when there's that kind of split intention, then that's going to tend to carry through the relationship. So I would say just general advice, like, people should be clear about what they want before they enter into a relationship. Let's see, would you be fulfilled? I don't know if the cards are saying that one way or another, in all honesty. Yeah, I don't know. All they're really saying is that eventually this will all become clear with that King of Swords card for the outcome card. The Chariot reverse for your attitude or position on the situation would suggest not being emotionally fulfilled, though. So, but that could just be how you're feeling now, which that could be picking up on. So, yeah, the cards aren't really saying one way or another about that. But I would say just general advice, people should be clear about what they want before entering into a relationship. A Pisces, so I need emotions from him. Yeah, and he's a Virgo. Let me look at his chart again. Taurus, Moon, Libra, rising. So, well, just because of what I'm seeing with his Jupiter here, you wouldn't happen to be born towards the end of Pisces season, would you? Like March 15th or anything around there? March 2nd, okay. Let me see. I might be able to figure some things out with that too. That's relatively earlier in Pisces season. Well, your sun most likely trines his Chiron, which would be fairly healthy. Let's see, and you feel like you need emotions from him. Capricorn, Venus. Do you happen to know what your Mars sign is? See, the issue is also, well, unless you happen to know his exact birth time, like depending on what time of day he was born, his moon sign is either Virgo or Libra. And if it's Virgo, well, actually, no, hang on. If it's Virgo, you're going to be less likely to get, I guess, emotions from him than Libra, but Libra is also an air sign. So even then, not necessarily as likely to get emotions from him. It's just that Libra is ruled by Venus, sweet, loving Venus. And so that would theoretically be more compatible with the Pisces. So unless you know his exact birth time, though, I can't really say for sure about that. But his sun is in Virgo, so he does have a very, very practical, logical energy about him as opposed to emotional. Virgo men and Taurus bachelors. Yeah, not surprising. And he doesn't really have a whole lot of water in his chart other than his Chiron in Scorpio and Jupiter in Pisces. That doesn't mean it couldn't work, just that the astrology isn't saying for sure here. He also has Mercury, Venus, and Mars all in Leo, so he's got a significant dose of that Leo fire energy. But again, that's fire and not emotion water. Okay, I see your question there, Jasmina. Okay, so I guess we need to let me figure out where we're at here. So I think it was Found in Wonderland, then Lumen, then Jasmina. Okay. All right. Well, guess we should try to wrap it up if that's okay, Found in Wonderland. But if you have any final questions about this, I can try to answer them real quick. Thank you. You're very welcome. All right, so yes, Lumen, aka Ginny, you are up next. Wait, did you put your question already? I forget. Also, I got your donation. General reading, okay. All right. So it's Lumen and then Jasmina. All right. You are welcome. All right. Just gonna log back into PayPal, make sure everything is 100% legit. You love when I say your name? Yeah, you reminded me of it, I think a couple of times actually, and then I finally got it. I finally remembered it. All right, let's see here. Okay, so let me get the cards nice and mixed up. Okay, we are going to give Ginny a nice general reading, a Celtic cross reading for Ginny, aka Lumen, aka Ginny, in the chat, right here, right now. Celtic cross. Let's see what we get. What insights does the universe have for Ginny right here, right now? A general Celtic cross reading. Cards are going a little crazy. A general Celtic cross reading. Well, okay. That's definitely it. Current outside influences, Three of Pentacles, challenge card, the Fool, underlying energy, the Hierophant, the past, Nine of Cups reversed, hope to achieve, Death reversed, near future, the Hermit, attitude or position, the Two of Cups, outside force coming in, the Wheel of Fortune, hopes or fears, Seven of Cups reversed, and the final outcome card is the Lovers. All right, let's take a look here. So you're starting off with that Three of Pentacles energy, that collaboration, working with others, quite possibly new, interesting, creative work opportunities may be presenting themselves to you, or maybe you're already involved with them. Your challenge card currently is the Fool, which implies the idea of it being time to go out on a new adventure, a new spontaneous development, a whole new phase of your life, a whole new journey, a whole new adventure. And that would, of course, be to your advantage right now to be very spontaneous and act on inspiration. And let's see, about 3 half-time stay going. Try coin casting. Oh, cool. Coin casting. Is that what I think it is? I'm gonna have to look that up at some point. Let's see. What else do we have here? Where should we go next? Well, what you hope to achieve is, of course, Death reversed, implying that you desire to overcome something blocking you from letting the old die so that the new can be born, transmuting your energy, a powerful transformation, maybe even a reclamation of your power to some extent. And then that is going to reflect your underlying energy card, everything forming a foundation for your current situation, the Hierophant, which is going to talk about everything from the practical world and the logical realm and stuff like that to belief systems and spirituality and even like the mysteries of the universe and stuff like that. Going on a date as soon as this reading is over. I've been cooped up. Oh, well, funny you should mention that, because your attitude or position in the situation is the Two of Cups, as if to say that you are in love or in an extreme passionate excitement with someone or something at this time. You're feeling like you're ready for a new beginning, essentially, which is in contrast to your card in the past, the Nine of Cups reversed, which is talking about past disappointments and sadness and depression and dissatisfaction, essentially. You've moved out of that, you've moved into apparently new opportunities, it would seem. So the near future, the Hermit. Blushing pink is my favorite color. Oh boy. So the Hermit card, and that's quite appropriate for you, being a Virgo, as I do recall. So the idea of rest, withdrawal, seclusion, meditation, recuperation, getting away from things that maybe have been stressful to you. Also, of course, this would be like a Hierophant card connection, peering into the mysteries of the universe, into secrets and whatnot, into belief systems and stuff like that. May Virgo, naturally, indeed. Outside force coming in, Wheel of Fortune, suggesting even more change, like we talked about with the Fool card. So apparently, I mean, from what we're seeing here, basically major changes should be coming your way. And we're talking stuff possibly relating to destiny, life cycles, major life developments. Let's see what else. That Seven of Cups reversed in your hopes or fears is theoretically going to talk about possibly being afraid that you're not seeing things quite clearly, or not having the clear mind that you seek just yet. And yet, when we look at the outcome card of the Lovers, that is talking about mental clarity, among other things, as does the Hermit. And so if you're afraid of not having the mental clarity that you seek, apparently you need not worry about that, because it looks like not only do you have a fair amount of it in the near future, but you should have all you need of it in the outcome of your general situation right now. And so the Lovers card, though, is also going to talk about decisions, choices. It's going to talk about the idea of two opposing polarities and possibly they're coming together, but also possibly well, the Lovers card almost seems to be more of their intertwining rather than completely merging. And that, of course, I mean, it could be a more surfacey thing where it manifests as a new relationship. You did get the Two of Cups after all, and even the Hierophant can hint at that, or it can manifest as more of like a new creative endeavor or something like that. So it seems to be what we have here. There's like a lot of change happening in your life right now. Say Scorpio reversed and not ready for another transformation at the moment. Death card reversed, if that's what you were referring to. You have that in your hope to achieve position, but it is reversed, and so if you say you're not ready for another transformation, maybe that's the idea, and that's why it's reversed, is that you don't want to undergo a transformation. You want to break from that for a while. So that's about it. Got 2 9s, so that 9th house of belief systems and that which is long term is lit up in this reading. Sounds nice. All right. So hopefully you're satisfied with this. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Well, thank you very much for getting another reading for me. I really appreciate that. And since you donated 1111, you also donated some other times recently, so that would be close. That would be close enough to qualifying for a birth chart analysis. Although I did give you one before, I remember quite a while back. But if you want like an additional birth chart analysis, well, you basically paid enough for it, so you can just say so. But up next we have Jasmina again here. Get a question on screen. Actually, let me get my cards ready first. Sure, why not? Thank you. All right. Would you like that birth chart reading tonight after we read Jasmina's cards, or would you like it another time? Okay, everything's looking good. All right. So we would like a Celtic cross reading for Jasmina in the chat right here, right now. The question of, there's a guy who stares blankly at me all the time in every direction. Also, my childhood ex out of nowhere contacted me as well, so I wanted to know their agenda. Are one of them my soulmate or have a hidden agenda? All right, let us get a Celtic cross reading on this question, on this situation. See what we can find out. What do the cards have to say about Jasmina's situation here? All right, I believe that's it. I think, oh boy, the cards are switching around after the fact. All right. So you got the Queen of Swords, the Five of Pentacles reversed, the Knight of Swords, the Lovers reversed, the High Priestess reversed, the Nine of Swords, the Three of Swords, the Emperor reversed, Six of Cups, and the King of Swords for your final outcome card. So one moment, please. I'm going to turn my heater down again. It's still really warm in here. Okay, so let's see here. Childhood ex out of nowhere, and then one of them, your soulmate, or have a hidden agenda. You wouldn't happen to know their birthday or their sign, right? Or I mean, would you? Because that would indeed help here, or it would likely help anyway. Let's see, though. Let's see, the soulmate question should be the easiest to answer, first of all, which, well, from what we're seeing here, we're not seeing any indicator of that, not from these cards. So, neither of them should be your soulmates from what we are seeing here. Now, as for the rest of it, let's see, what is with the guy who stares blankly at you all the time, and then your childhood ex out of nowhere contacted you. What is their agenda? No, you don't. That's okay. You can still most likely figure this out. Well, basically what is going on overall here is in the near future regarding this situation, there could be some concerns, some stuff that ends up worrying you because we do have the Nine of Swords in the near future. Then we have the Three of Swords for your attitude or position on the situation. But then the King of Swords outcome card implying eventually all this becomes clear. Well, here's the thing, like, maybe I should have realized this before. It might be best to give you two different readings for this, and which I'm happy to do. Yeah, I don't care. First on the guy who stares blankly at you all the time, and then your childhood ex, because it looks like things are getting too mixed together here. So I'm actually going to give you an entirely separate reading on each of those, because I think the energy is getting too jumbled here. But the cards did at least make it clear there that neither one of them is your soulmate. So we have figured that out. Okay, so we would like a Celtic cross reading for Jasmina in the chat right here, right now, about what is the deal with this guy who stares blankly at her all the time in every direction? What insight can we gain into that? What is that all about? Celtic cross reading. Let's see what we get. I don't know, looks like they're pretty freaking locked. All right, here we go. Queen of Cups, the Empress reversed. Queen of Swords, Seven of Cups, Four of Cups reversed, Ten of Wands reversed, the Sun, the Wheel of Fortune, the Eight of Cups, and the Nine of Wands. All right, let's see here. So for the guy who stares blankly at you all the time, interesting. Well, probably what's most relevant here are the first two cards, the Queen of Cups and the Empress, then showing up for the challenge card. Hang on 1 second, though. Four of Cups reversed. Well, based on what we're seeing here, The Empress card is a huge indicator of the idea of love with her association with Venus. And crossing over the Queen of Cups, is also going to talk about love in her own way, but a deep understanding of the emotional world, in particular the Queen of Cups. So, but it's not just that. In the hope to achieve position, we have the Four of Cups reversed. That's most likely picking up on his energy, which is like saying that he probably wishes that he could be more confident and open, but for some reason feels like he cannot. And I'm not sure why that is, but he might be interested in you, like, romantically. I mean, that would be what the Empress here suggests. And she did come up reversed also for the challenge card, which would imply a blockage to that. Like, he doesn't feel, I don't know, for some reason he doesn't feel comfortable. He doesn't feel open or confident. And let me read your question and make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, this guy stares blankly at you. But then the Sun card also popped up in the, well, maybe, I don't know if the Wheel of Fortune would add to this or not, but maybe. But there might be an aspect of him also, though, that is almost more like playful about it, where it's not just that there's an aspect of him that might be interested in you romantically, but there's also an aspect of him that is almost childlike about it and playful about it, like not even trying to really prove anything. But yeah, that would be the best I've got for that, basically. So that said, let's look at the second part of your question. Okay, we would like a Celtic cross reading for Jasmina in the chat right here, right now, about her childhood ex out of nowhere contacting her and wanting to know this person's agenda. What is this person's agenda? Could they have a hidden agenda? Jasmina's childhood ex contacting her out of nowhere. Celtic cross in the situation. Let's see what we get. Jasmina's childhood ex contacting her out of nowhere. Okay. Here we go. The World, the Seven of Wands, the Sun, the Six of Cups. That's quite appropriate for the situation. The King of Wands, the Seven of Pentacles, or the Seven of Swords, sorry. Five of Cups reversed, the Six of Wands, Temperance, and the Eight of Cups. All right, let's see here. Childhood ex contacting you again. What is this person's agenda? Well, I can definitely see they're wanting to assert themselves with you with that King of Wands energy in the hope to achieve position. So they are wanting to assert themselves, and it is connected almost certainly to your experiences in the past with that Six of Cups in the past position. So your experiences with this person in the past, there being your childhood ex. Underlying energy of the sun. I think I might know what that means, but let me make sure first. Yeah, most likely because you got the sun for the underlying energy, you got the world for the current outside influences, and especially when we add in the King of Wands, I think that he may very well want to begin something new with you. It's just that the nature of what that something is hard to say. In the near future for the situation, you have the Seven of Swords, which can often mean roads less traveled. But let me see here. Seven of Swords. Just sometimes Seven of Swords could almost be like a trickster or something, but I don't think it would be that in this situation because we're not getting other cards that would really indicate that. But for the attitude or position in the situation card, the Five of Cups reversed, that is a card of recovery from lost love. So that's going to connect things with the idea of this person being your childhood ex. And yet the outcome card, well, I know you asked, like, you're wondering if he possibly had a hidden agenda. Well, I'm not really seeing a hidden agenda. Not anything that like dramatic or anything. But he might want to start something new with you. And it might be something perhaps unusual, that Seven of Swords. But it is likely connected to your being with each other in the past. And then the outcome card is the Eight of Cups, as if to say that eventually, though, how all this turns out is a turning away from things. So let me draw an 11th card to see if we get more. Three of Pentacles reversed. I guess that would basically imply that whatever happens between you two, eventually there's probably separation and you go your separate ways. But it definitely does not look like he has any like major hidden agenda, though he may want to start something new with you, but again, it's not anything like major from what we're seeing here. So I hope that answers your question. Let me know if you have any other questions about this reading. Just so weird when you don't know what's in their head. Yeah, that's very true. Some people are very hard to read. Yes, it does. Thank you. Okay, good. Happy to hear that. You're very welcome. Thank you for getting another reading from me. I really appreciate it. Very, very interesting. Glad you think so. It is interesting what we get, isn't it, in these various readings. Hello there, Bella Star. Are you interested in a tarot reading? So yeah, thanks so much everyone for all the readings tonight. I really enjoy giving them. And I try to do this at least a couple times a week on usually Mondays, Wednesdays, and or Saturdays. So if you want to look for me again, that's when you'll likely find me. How much do you have to donate? Oh yeah, I should have mentioned. You can donate anything you want, and I'll give you a reading through PayPal or Super Chat. In fact, I'm going to paste the PayPal link since I haven't done that in a while. I'm going to paste it in the chat to make it easier to find. Like, I prefer PayPal because then basically I get all the money, usually. But you can also use Super Chat if PayPal doesn't work for you. So, link. And once I receive your donation, I will give you a reading. So I think when I do these streams from now on, like on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, when I do the tarot reading streams anyway, I'm just gonna kind of pop in and pop out and pop back in and just see when people are available, or when people want readings, basically. I think that's the best way to do it. All right, thank you for the donation, Bella. And let me know what your question is whenever you're ready. You deserve it. Your readings are so in-depth. You take your time with everyone individually. Thanks, Jasmina. I'm happy to hear that. I really am. Well, you know, I do my best. I believe that if I'm going to take the time to do something like this, then I should give people the time that they need, and I should be as thorough as necessary. Like, I try to be both as concise and thorough as necessary. Like, if there isn't much information that's actually relevant to say, then I'll just give what's relevant. But if there's a lot to give that's relevant, then I'll go over it very thoroughly. So that's the thing with a Celtic cross. Like, typical Celtic cross, or I guess any Celtic cross really, you're going to get so much information. But if it's for a relatively simple question, then all of it's going to boil down to just maybe one or two main points. So that's the interesting thing about tarot that I've learned since practicing it. And so I think the danger at times, and we see this in astrology as well, is that like people can get lost in the details if you give them too many details. Whereas if you boil it down to one or two or three main points, then you can really understand it so much more easily, rather than getting bogged down with a bunch of details that aren't really that important, if even that important at all. So we see that in both tarot and astrology, in fact. Yeah, and speaking of astrology, yeah, I guess I don't mention this often enough. Like I give tarot readings for a donation of any amount. I'll also give birth chart readings for $20. And the only reason that those are $20 is because they take longer, and it takes more time and I guess effort on my part, but I can do them. All right, let's see here. How does my person of interest S feel about me? Sorry, it's a cheesy question. Don't apologize at all. It's a very good question. Going to ask about the Celtic cross. It's very fascinating. Yeah, we can We can talk about the Celtic cross if you want, like what it means and how it works and stuff, if you have any questions about it. All right, so let's see here. So we would like a Celtic cross reading for Bella Star in the chat right here, right now. The question of, how does their person of interest S feel about them? Celtic cross reading on this situation. Let's see what we get. Almost, but not quite. How does Bella Star's person of interest S feel about them? All right, there it is. Nine of Wands, Six of Pentacles reversed, Knight of Cups reversed, Page of Wands, Six of Cups, Eight of Swords, Two of Wands, Three of Swords, the Magician, and the Fool. All right, let us see here. How does this person feel about you? Okay. Yeah, I think I see what's going on here. So, hang on. Yeah, you are, dude. Thanks again for the reading. Thank you, Jesus. I appreciate that. Do the best I can. All right, so Bella, basically what it looks like here is this person seems like divided with their intentions because we have the Six of Cups in their hope to achieve position on the one hand, which is like saying, oh, Six of Cups, dating and new relationships and the early stages of a romance, and it's like saying that they want that with you. But the underlying energy, Knight of Cups reversed, it's like saying on the other hand, they're afraid of it, or there's some kind of energy blockage there, like they're not totally on board with it. The Eight of Swords showing up seems to imply perhaps feeling trapped by it, although that can sometimes manifest differently. But there's that, and then there's the Three of Swords, so like saying, oh boy, that can manifest a number of different ways, but either saying that if you get with this person, it's going to lead to heartache for one or both of you, or that something's going to divide the two of you regardless. But then the thing that's so interesting about it is the outcome card ends up being the Fool, as if saying once you go through that, and this is part of the reason I'm thinking the Eight of Swords might mean something else in this reading, might mean the idea of a transformation, is because once you go through that, you have the Fool, which is the new adventure, the new journey, the new whatever it happens to be. So yeah, this is very interesting. Like, as for how they feel about you, well, basically, yeah, it's like there's an aspect of them that probably is interested in you in some way, shape, or form, if not romantically, then at least interested in you, at least as a friend. But there's another aspect of them that either just isn't ready for a relationship or is like scared or something. There might be a part of them. Hell, there might even be a part of them with that Eight of Swords that feels too prideful or something. Like they feel like a relationship would, I don't know, somehow diminish their pride or something. A secondary possibility, though, for this Knight of Cups reverse for the underlying energy is that can simply be a warning to like not get involved with this person romantically. So, I mean, I'm not 100% sure if that's what the cards are saying also, but it's certainly a possibility. So I hope that answers your question. If not, let me know if I can clarify it at all. In the meantime, I'm going to check on a couple things. Thank you, it does. All right, I'm happy to hear that, Bella. And thanks for getting a reading from me. I really, really appreciate it. All right, so will there be anyone else tonight? I'm happy to stay pretty much as long as people want readings. All right, well, I think I am going to go get some water real quick while we are between readings. So I'll be right back, and yeah, I'll just be a minute or two. Okay, I'm back. Alright, so wait here a little bit longer, see if anyone else wants a reading. If not, then I will call it a night. Let me get my water on a coaster. Yeah, so again, I usually do these streams on Mondays, Wednesdays, and or Saturdays. So if anyone wants to come find me again for a reading, that is most likely when you will. And also, if anyone's wondering, on Monday, like for those who don't know, I will be doing my usual book analysis stream that day, which will be looking at The Nature of Personal Reality, a Seth book. And then after that, if I do another live tarot reading stream that night, it'll be after that stream. So it looks like things are dying down a bit. That's okay. Had a very productive night. I'm very appreciative of it. And looks like some people subscribed. So thank you for that. All right, well, I think I'll wait maybe like 5 more minutes, and we'll see if anything else happens. If not, then that'll be it for tonight. So Venus enters Capricorn in less than 24 hours. That's going to make for an interesting shift in our relationship lives, and also when it comes to things we like and things we want. It's going to go from being all inspirational and going far and going the distance to being much more real and practical and realistic and down to earth and calculating as well. So that should be interesting. We've got a Mars-Uranus conjunction coming up in 1.5 weeks. That's going to be an intense day. Let's see what day is that. February 12th or 13th, depending on where you're located in the world. So both February 12th and 13th, Mars lines up with Uranus. That might be one hell of a hectic day for everyone in general. But we'll get through it, and we always do. Maybe I should be saying that might be like 2 hectic days in a row, 12th and 13th. All right, so does anyone else want a reading? Last chance. So I'm going to close down in a minute otherwise. All right, well, I guess that's going to be it for now then. Thanks so much, everyone, for being here. Thanks to those who got donations. You guys are awesome. I really absolutely enjoy giving you guys readings. It's a lot of fun, and I enjoy the financial support. It's certainly very useful for me, very advantageous. In fact, because of the money I made tonight, I'll probably be ordering a new external USB microphone very soon. I don't know, I'll have to figure that out, but if not tonight, then very, very soon I'll order that. And so the audio quality of these streams should increase immensely, or at least somewhat significantly in the very near future. So I really appreciate that. Like, the more money I make from these streams, the more I can put that back into them to improve them as time goes on. So that's what's really exciting to me. Okay, so I'm going to set this to unlisted. So if you got a reading and you have to keep the link for the stream, you can rewatch it. Otherwise, it shall remain hidden from view. So again, I'll be back on Monday with that Seth book analysis stream, and then after that, I'll probably also go live again doing live tarot readings for donations of any amount. So thanks again, everyone, and I hope to see you next time.